Okay. We are back. Big one today. Interesting one today, I would say as well, because this is a game which we, for all intents and purposes, should be comfortably winning, but we've seen the upturn in form of Everton ever since they brought in David Moyes. They've definitely been more solid since then. Do they have enough quality to beat us? I don't think so. Do they have enough quality to stop us from winning? Absolutely. Um, I think that's going to be kind of the kind of conundrum that we face today. Is that I don't think this is going to be a game that Everton try and win. It's more of a game that they try not to lose. For us, that's obviously going to make things much more difficult because we notoriously struggle against teams that are defensively solid. We notoriously struggle against teams that play low blocks, etc., etc. So I think today is going to be a day where we need a lot of patience. Let me quickly do my checks real quick, because I forgot to do that. Here, pop out the chat and everything. And yes, as I said, so we're going to need some patience today. We're going to be obviously at home. We're going to be passing it around the back a lot. I'm hoping that the fans are not going to get on the back of our team. I think that we really, really need the fan support today to kind of get us over the line. To be honest, this is the thing, right? We talk about goalkeepers and stuff. There's always going to be goalkeeper talk when it comes to Chelsea in recent times. But to be honest, this is a game where I really don't think that the goalkeeper is going to matter. I don't think that our goalkeeper is going to be particularly tested. Now there is a lot of key players. I say a lot of. There are some certain key players for Everton that are out today. That I think will impact things. I was going to leave it until we got to the lineup, so I might as well say them now I've brought them up. So first of all, no James Tarkowski, which is a really, really big loss. He had a hamstring injury, I believe, in the City game, so he's out for the rest of the season, supposedly. They don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin still. He's still not fit, and their replacement for him, Armando Broja, is obviously not eligible to play against us because we are his parent club for his loan. So they will have to play with Beto up top, who's not been the greatest ever since he came to Everton. Let's be real. They also didn't really have much kind of success when Michael Keane came in for James Tarkowski. They kind of crumbled after he came in. So there might be some rotation there, or there might be Keane there. Admittedly, again, in the way that they defend, it's probably going to be more hard for us to break down anyway, because they do have tall centre-backs, too, like very strong centre-backs that can kind of play there. We may see some shifting around with the right back as well for them, because they've got some kind of weird issues there, with possibly bringing Jake O'Brien, I believe it is, probably bringing him in for the centre-back role. They'll have to do some rotation there, but yeah. So I've completely forgotten what point I was on to mention that, but there we go. But yes, but yeah, so there's going to be one of those games where, again, we're going to have to be patient. I've predicted, and for my prediction, obviously I'll get into that in a bit. I've predicted something very, very weird, and I don't think it's going to happen. And for me, calling it a prediction would be kind of disingenuous. It's not a prediction. It's more of a kind of a hope of a thing which I want to see, because I feel like that it will be something that we will need to employ against teams that are much tougher, that are upcoming, like your Liverpools, like your Uniteds, etc. And I would prefer for us to kind of get into the swing of things with an easier game today, quote unquote easier game today, as the formation is going to slightly change from what I predicted. I'm also just getting messaged, 1 second. It's the other half. But no, so yeah. I think what we'll first do is the bingo, and then we'll kind of get into that lineup. But I did want to say as well, obviously, you may have seen it on the community post. You may have seen it in the Discord if you're in the Discord. I'm going to be doing some rebranding soon. I'm working on some commissions. I've commissioned some artists to do some work for me, and yeah, we're going to be getting some new graphics and stuff. And I'm going to be kind of simplifying things a lot more. And just kind of going back to basics in a way, because I just feel like that kind of stands out more and is more me, and I kind of just don't want to have to be sitting here doing like all of this random YouTube jargon where I'm trying to get things to work. I can't be bothered to do that anymore. So we're gonna we're going to do some more things. As you, some of you may have seen the teaser I put in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, or if you're watching this on the VOD and you're not a part of the Discord, the links are in the description. You can see that. But yeah, just a sneak preview of kind of the type of vibe we're going for. But I've been working on other things as well. And I realized this as well when I was doing this. Also, my camera's going out of focus, which is really weird. Why are you doing that? Boop. There we go. I don't think that counts towards the bingo card, but why are you doing this? Come on, focus. I'm here. Hello. There we go. Yeah, so we're going to be doing some rebrands. We're going to be doing some going back to basics and stuff. And the thing which is really fun, long-time fans of the channel, people that have been around here for a year and a half, that type of time, will know that there's something that I have what's the word? I have not forgotten, but like neglected to do over the last few years, and that's a channel trailer. I finally have a channel trailer that will be coming up with this rebrand. So that's the thing we're finally getting done. That's been on my checklist since like May of when we started, and I never got to do that. Do I think George starts? No, I do not. I think that he's going to feature in this game, I will say. I think he'll feature off the bench. I don't think he's going to start because I believe he will get a full 90 against Djursgaarden in the... That's funny. That's really funny. You're a funny guy, Ramsdale. And you know, this is really funny. Is that I actually sympathise with Aaron Ramsdale. Obviously, I'm a person that's ADHD. I cannot pay attention if something's not happening like immediately. Like my brain shuts off. I can 100% sympathise with him. But that is really funny. I'll do that for the bingo next time. It's always another problem. If it's not flipping, it's freezing. If it's not freezing, it's going unfocused. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's got a mind of its own. But yes, let us move into the bingo card first. We need one more for a bingo. We'll come back to that. Yeah, for real. Let's go into this screen. Whoosh, whoosh. We've got the bingo card. There are some different things on here today. Most of it is kind of similar to what we usually see, but there's some different things. First of all, we have Romeo Oh Romeo. This is obviously for if Romeo Lavia gets an appearance today. I hope he will. I think he probably will. George goal/assist. Now, we talked about him just a second ago. I think that if he does come off the bench, he might genuinely have might have the kind of capacity to get on the goal contributions list for this game. We have a clean sheet as always. We have good crowd. I have a sneaky suspicion. This is a bit hopeful because again we are going to be playing quite slow today. We're probably going to be quite patient today and having to kind of play through the press like we usually do, and hopefully the crowd doesn't get on the back. I have a sneaky good feeling about today that our crowd's going to be quite good today. We have subs make the difference. This is just similar to what happened last time in the game where our subs came on and they make the difference. We have an early goal. We have a goal for El Penguino, or obviously Marc Cucurella. We have Caicedo at right back, and that's a slight kind of what's the word? Sneak peek into what I'm going to be doing with my formation. We have a game of two halves as always, unlikely goal scorer as always, player book for descent as always, Caicedo tackle punished as always, Maresca ball in full flow. Now this is going to be sad because it will be Maresca ball technically, but he's not going to be on the sideline, so I believe he's got a touchline ban for one game, I believe, and I think it is this game, which I'm glad he's gone for this game and not something like the Liverpool game or the United game or the Newcastle game, which would be way more important. But yeah, ref/VAR mistake, standard. Defensive howler, standard. Worldy, standard. Enzo player of the match. Now, I don't know, I have a really weird suspicion that this is going to be a game where Enzo Fernandez really needs to step up in terms of his playmaking and kind of be the one to pick out the balls, be the one to kind of make that Fabregas-esque pass to get to kind of unlock Everton's defence because they do sit so deep. That will be why I think that he's going to get player of the match today. Correct prediction, that's for a correct score prediction, which I'll do in once I finish the lineups. Set piece goal, Mono on vacation. We're not on vacation yet. Palmer goal. I think, and I posted this on Twitter. I think this is it. This is the game where Palmer gets his goal finally. He absolutely decimated Everton last time we played them, or not last time, but you know, last season where we played them, absolutely battered them. I feel like this is another game where he could really be, again, like I said with Enzo, he could be the guy who kind of unlocks things for us. And I think that a long ranger from Palmer into the top corner, getting it past Pickford because he's not the tallest goalkeeper, that could be the way he gets it. I've got weird sub. I don't really know what this is for. This is just, I haven't really thought about it. I just thought we'll throw this on here. This is just for if there's a really odd substitution in the game. For example, a centre-back coming on for a forward when we need a goal, or again, similar to like George coming on at striker instead of playing in the wing role, or you know, one of those things. Maybe again, maybe Lavia coming off the bench to play in that kind of inverted right back role, something weird like that. We have a late winner as well. Also, my thing is going weird. Nkunku is a weird sub. For real, he would be a weird sub, because especially considering Enzo Maresca having the balls and the kind of confidence in George to put him on and say, hey, you know what, Nkunku, you have been absolutely bollocks this whole season. You're staying on the bench. We're bringing on this 18-year-old. Well, yeah, 18-year-old, and he's going to come on and he's going to do a better job than you. That's crazy. But yeah, paid off. And then 2 wins in a row. So that's just for the win. But let's get into the lineup now, because I believe we've probably got about 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes before they actually release the lineups. Let's talk about what I want to see. Now, this isn't going to be what this is not me predicting what's going to happen, because I think Enzo's going to be a little bit safer, especially considering he's going to have to rotate players for the Conference League against Djurgården again. I think we all know that Sanchez is starting. We can rip that band-aid off. Sanchez is starting. And again, I don't have much of an issue with this. Jurgensen really hasn't filled me with much confidence in recent times. I think that in this game, against a team that's going to be counter-attacking and kind of sitting back and trying to break on us, we need a shot stopper, and we don't really need much more than that. So I think Sanchez is the better of the two when it comes to shot stopping. I feel like he would play. Now, at right back, and this is oh god, here we go. It's already going Pete Tong, by the way. I'm playing Caicedo at right back. This is just my wants. This isn't a prediction. I want Caicedo at right back. I think him doing that inverted role that we've seen Gusto do is something that is kind of almost tailor-made for him, because he's so good at getting it like up and down. He's so good at 1v1 defending out wide as well, that I feel like he obviously, we saw it from the Tottenham game. We've seen it in other times as well, that he can play here really, really well. And it kind of helped. The reason I've done this is because I want to facilitate another player that will be coming into the lineup a little bit later. I should say as well, I haven't actually mentioned our absentees. Okay, we don't have Guiu, he's coming back soon. We don't have Mudryk because of suspension. We don't have Kellyman because of injury. Fofana we don't have because of injury, and we don't have Gusto as well because he got that hammy at the end of the game against Fulham. So no Gusto, so that's why he's not in the right back role. Should kind of be said. Lavia should be back though, which is a good thing. So that's our kind of injury thing. The back four is going to be, of course, Caicedo, as I said, Chalobah and Colwill as a centre-back partnership. Now, these two have been slowly forming a bit of a decent partnership. We've been seeing these two play in the league. We've been seeing Tosin and Benoit Badiashile playing in the Conference League. And yeah, I feel like, even though I don't have the most confidence in Chalobah, I think, like, again, he's another one who has a bit of an eye for a pass, like Colwill. I think he's got a bit of an eye for a pass, a long ball, and that might be something that we need to unlock a stubborn defence. I'm going to be putting in Mark Cucurella, as we mentioned him earlier, in the left-back role. Again, this is standard. He always plays here. He's our only left-back. He's got to play. I did just see that question. Thoughts on the Mudryk lie detector test? Man, I've said this from the beginning. As soon as it came out about the whole drug situation and the performance enhancing stuff, I've always said it, like, Mudryk would not do that. He's not the kid. He's not the type of kid that would do that. He's inherently very, very religious. He's literally got the words "talent isn't enough" tattooed on his body. He is definitely not a person to take shortcuts. And again, I think it's just a cross-contamination thing. So I never kind of felt like he would be lying by saying, "Oh, I didn't take anything intentionally." And again, you can't really base your analysis on lie detector tests. They are not always 100% accurate. But yeah, I feel like there's no way that he did that, so hopefully that's some confirmation there. Let's move into the midfield, because this is where it gets a little bit interesting for me. In the 6, fingers crossed, in the 6, Romeo Lavia, and that is why Caicedo is out here on the right side, because I think that we should hopefully see Romeo Lavia come back into the team today. He was on the bench last time, so he should get some minutes today. If he doesn't get any minutes, I'll be very shocked. If he gets a start like I've predicted here, I don't think he'll obviously not play the full 90. He'll probably play 45 minutes and then come off, and Caicedo can move back into that natural position. Maybe James comes off the bench. Next to him, in the two 10 roles, we have Enzo Fernandez and we have Palmer. again, bit of a question on Palmer because he's been really, really poor recently. There's no doubt about it. He has just been complete void of any and all confidence, and it's really sad to see because he was shining so much. As I said before, I predict that this is going to be the game where he breaks his duck. I feel like he's really going to actually do something here and kind of get that confidence back, and then we can take that confidence into the bigger games where hopefully he can kind of drag us out of that. Now, for the front three, this is my favourite front three that we ever play. And even though there's been some questions about who I'm going to be putting in at striker recently, I think he has to start in any case. On the right side, it's going to be Noni Madueke. I know Pedro Neto has been very, very good recently, and he's obviously scored the all-important winner. My thing is lagging so badly. Can you not? There we go. He obviously scored the all-important winner against Fulham, but I don't think he's done enough to earn a start, and I feel like he's kind of the one that we might play in the Conference League. Madueke is always our starting winger, and he is, in general, the more direct of the two, and the one that can kind of unlock things. So hopefully he can kind of start and get off well. In the opposite side, I'm going to be putting Jadon Sancho. Now, I think Jadon Sancho has really shown in recent times that he is the kind of... He is our starting left winger. Like, he has to play here. I don't really like Neto playing here particularly, even though he's left-footed and he can swing the ball in. Against this defence that we're going to come up against with not very much of a box presence, obviously we're going to have Jackson here. I just don't like us swinging balls into the box. It doesn't really suit us. I prefer us to kind of play it to the edge of the box and take shots, which is, again, why I think that Palmer could probably score here today. Maybe Enzo. Because us shooting from outside the box is kind of what's been winning in recent times. Obviously, both of our goals against Fulham were shots from outside the box. So there we go. But yeah, I much prefer Sancho to kind of play here, and they can both kind of play inwards. As for the actual shape in-game, this is, again, because this looks a bit weird, we can move this around pretty comfortably. I think we do play that box again as normal, with Caicedo obviously inverting into the midfield. And we kind of move everyone around here. We have Colwill playing in the central role where he can spear passes into the 210s. We have Chalobah playing on this right-hand side where he can be very comfortable. He's very used to playing here. Cucurella obviously playing as this left-back / left centre-back hybrid kind of role. But what I imagine we will see in-game, because they are going to be so deep, they're going to be so defensive, is that Cucurella will be up here. We're kind of going to leave the two here, and we're going to see that kind of... We spoke about it before, but that kind of 2-2... that 2-2-5-1 type formation that we've kind of seen with Sancho obviously likes to come inside. Cucurella can make the overlap if he wants to, or they can do it the other way with Cucurella getting into the box as he often does. But yeah, and maybe we see some kind of rotation in that regard. So maybe we see Palmer go into the central 10. We see Caicedo a little tiny bit higher with Enzo on the opposite side. And we see the diamond instead. I don't think that's very... likely, because I kind of feel like we need the two players here if we're going to be committing the extra body up with Cucurella going high. But yeah, that's just what I would like to see. Do I think we were going to see this? Absolutely not. I think it's going to be way more standard than this. Probably we see Reece James playing the right back role. You probably see Caicedo in this role. We probably see Lavia come off the bench for about 20 minutes. But there we are. Is the lineup out? 10 out of 11 lineup is out. Let's go quickly to this screen. One sec. Whoosh, 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 and let me get the lineup out on the screen. I've also received a DM on Twitter, which I need to respond to at some point. Here's how we line up versus Everton. And you know what's really funny about this? You know what's really funny about this lineup, actually? Once I kind of put this in. Let me just kind of sort this out real quick. This is gonna be unaligned. Oh no, here we go. Right, so here's the starting 11. You know what's really funny? If you take a look at my thumbnail, look who's on the thumbnail, and look at the pose that he's doing. This is oddly similar, and I don't know how I managed to do that, but there we go. Here is our starting 11. Oh my goodness, I actually called it. Oh my goodness, it's actually happened. Caicedo in at right back. We have Robert Sanchez, Caicedo in at right back, Chalobah and Colwill, Cucurella, Lavia in the 6, Enzo, Madueke, Palmer, Neto, Jackson. So absolutely the same, except for Sancho is not playing and Neto is. Which, again, I'm not too fond of because I don't particularly like seeing Neto on the left-hand side. But, I mean, he's got the merit to kind of earn that position, I would say. Is there anything interesting on the bench? Dewsbury Hall's on the bench, Sancho, Nkunku, James, Tosin, George, Achempong, and Badiashile. So pretty standard there. So let's take out Sancho and let's put in Neto. I have no clue where I've put him. Where have I put Neto? Pedro Neto, where are you? There you are. I found him. So yeah, so pretty much the exact same things we were kind of talking about, except with Neto in instead of Sancho. The only thing that this does kind of change in terms of the dynamic, in terms of how we actually play, is that Cucurella now has the license to get into these central roles way more with Neto being here, because Neto is not going to come inside as a left-footed player. He's going to want to stay wide and go outside. So we're going to see Cucurella playing in this high left role, and in fact we might actually see kind of this now with the two centre backs obviously occupying these spaces. Caicedo can obviously get higher with Lavia, and then we see kind of these three occupying the midfield roles, and Cucurella trying to get into the box and be really annoying, with Palmer kind of supplementing him on the other side. That's kind of what we see today. Hopefully we get a win today. And for a score prediction now, this is really pessimistic of me, and I feel like this is a game where we can score a lot of goals if we kind of put our minds to it. And obviously having Lavia back in the starting 11 is such a big boost for us. I've mentioned it in the past how important he is for our play style, because he's the only midfielder in our club who is very, very pressure resistant and is able to kind of receive the ball on the half turn and get us out of pressure. Do I think we're going to be playing against pressure today? Probably not as much as we usually would be, because Everton are not not going to press us too high. I think they will sit back and try and hold what they have for most of the game. But yeah, I'm going to be conservative with my assessment here, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 Chelsea win. Only a 1-0 win, and I think it could be another late winner after like us passing it around the back for 90 minutes. So there we go. As for subs, I think that James will 100% come on for Lavia at some point. Caicedo will move into that role. I think that's kind of standard. Maybe we even see Joshua Chempong come off the bench. He could suit that role. It just really depends on who's going to start against Djurgården on Thursday. I think that for the most part, we're going to see most of the names on the bench are going to be starting that game, so maybe we don't see too much involvement. It depends on how many minutes Lavia can get through. I assume he'll probably play 45 and then come off. But that's probably all he really needs for his fitness, because we need him to stay fit in this game, because he's going to be so important for Liverpool, especially. All of the other games against Newcastle, he'll be important. Against Forest, he'll be quite important. But Liverpool especially, because of how high they press and how kind of onto you they step, he's going to be so useful for us getting out of that and kind of playing through them and actually finding some success there. So hopefully we get that 1-0 win. As I said, I do have a few fun facts. I say a few, just one kind of fun fact over here to kind of talk about before I end the stream here. Now, and this kind of is just to exemplify how we should be winning this game. And if we don't win this game, I do think it will be quite a catastrophic failure, rather. Here's my fun fact. We are absolutely unbeaten in 29 matches at home against Everton. This is a record that spans all the way back to 1994. That is the longest unbeaten home run against a single club in our history. If we somehow do not win this game, or at least draw this game, I will be very, very shocked. Everton's lineup is not threatening. I have not seen their lineup. I'll look at that at some point in my own time before the game. I will say that in terms of form, Everton have only 1 win and 3 draws in the last 6 games. Chelsea have 3 wins and 2 draws, and obviously the extra games are losses. So we're better on form. We're better in history, and hopefully we'll be better on the pitch as well. Now, as I say, thank you guys for hanging out as always. I'll keep you updated when it comes to the rebrand and stuff. I think that's probably going to come after the Djurgården game, is when I kind of start rolling that stuff out. And yeah, I'll be streaming after the game as well for Feeling Blue, which again might be getting another rebrand. It's going to be like the 3rd time I've rebranded that series, but we might be changing that. Obviously, we'll do Feeling Blue after this game, and we can sit here and wonder what went wrong, or sit here and be celebrating us going into the top 5 momentarily before the teams around us play their games. And we're kind of up there. I think we go to 60 points. If we win this, which is 1 point below City in 3rd. So let's hope we win this. And as I said, thank you guys for hanging out as ever. I'll see you in the stream after the